down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Tay.
Welcome to the Sam and Tay's Fantasy Football Podcast. This is the Week 9 wrap-up. Wow, week 9 already? Is that right, Tay? Week 9?
Yeah,
wow.
It's week 9 already, and
Man.
week 10 is coming up. So.
Man, I just
by-
remember I remember just our draft
week-
being with auto drafting, man. Damn, week 9 go fast.
Yeah. Time flies when you auto draft.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's really literally only 4 weeks left in the season, so it's crazy. It's gone by pretty quickly here.
Yep. Let's look at the standings real quick. We can see offense linebacker still 8-1.
Yeah, one again.
You know, and again, his total point score, you know, doesn't reflect his first place score.
Yeah, it's not the best, but you know he's winning, and that's what matters. I mean, and I'm surprised he doesn't have a star by his name yet, so that means he hasn't actually clinched the playoff spot. So surprisingly, he could be out of this thing. I mean, could you imagine that if he lost 4 in a row and then he's no longer in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think if he wins this week, I think he has to have a star by his name. He has to, right?
Got to,
because there's no way.
Everybody, but he's got to have a star. So it's up to you. If you want to jinx him, and then he could lose the next 4, and then he'd be out of the playoffs. That's right.
Speaking of jinx, look at Sin, man. He blew up there, and he got high score of the week.
Oh yeah, I know. I think he really took it to heart that his team really stunk it up, and so I think he was really trying hard to actually do well. So I mean, not bad because he didn't have Giovanni Bernard, and he still had high score of the week, so that not too bad.
Yep. And we started off the season talking about how Sin had the high score of the week too. Remember that first week he had the high score, and I thought, man, he was going to blow it up. He was going to win it all. You know.
Yeah. Well, and then we jinxed him. And that was pretty much it. I mean, his season. This win helps him, but because he's only 1 game back from the 8th spot, but
only 1 game back.
The jinx is still in full effect. So I don't know. He's still got a lot of work to do.
Look at the standings: second place through 12th, even to 13th place. I mean, that can all change next week. I mean, you can go from second to 12th. You know, right?
Yeah,
I think you can. Sort of.
Yeah. Chris is hip. He's the hip hop-potamus, right? Is that Chris? Yeah. I mean, literally, I think you could pretty much say he's out of it. He lost his 5th in a row.
Yeah. I
think he had a slim chance. If he could have won last week, he might have had a chance to make the playoffs. But I think even though there's no way you can tell if he's all the way out of it mathematically, but I think you can pretty much say he's out.
I think he's out.
Right?
He's out.
I mean, he's like pretty much 4 games back. From that last playoff spot. So and it's only 4 games left. So he needs like a miracle.
Yep. And his brother is just in 13th place. I just beat Jeff this past weekend. So I mean, he technically could still be in it. If he wins out, I think he could still be in it.
Yeah, definitely can.
Everybody's so close right now. Yeah. Everybody's so close. I think I think the playoff is definitely still wide open. But. All right, speaking of Jeff and my matchup, let's go ahead and talk about that matchup. It wasn't even close. By Sunday night, I knew it was over for Jeff. You know what I mean? Hopkins blew up for him, rare, right? I think I don't know how rare it is for Hopkins to do that. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was pretty much his only guy that scored any points for him, and I think pretty much you didn't even need Vinatieri on Monday night, but he kind of rubbed it in when he scored like 4 field goals and like all these extra points that he kicked on Monday night. So
that made it interesting with Denver's defense too. That made it interesting. -1 right there. I think
you felt sympathy for him. So
I did because look, Denver in Foxborough is never good. I mean, I'm a Denver fan. I know this. Denver in Foxborough isn't that good, and I thought about picking up a defense just to replace them, but I was like, no, I'm going to throw Jeff a bone here, And
I'll help him out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But
he only scores 54 points.
God, look at all the single digits. Hey, Jeff, man, I'm pulling for you, Jeff. I'm pulling for you. And, he has what's called is it called the championship hungover or something like that, where he won last year and he can't perform this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty much what he has, and it's crazy because he was projected to beat you this week, and he didn't even get close to his projection, and you overshot yours. So it was a deal at that point.
Yeah, sorry about that, Jeff. Good luck next week, Jeff. I'm pulling for you, ex champ. Let's go to let's go to our next matchup. Kevin versus Thog here. Kind of close matchup. Brady blew up.
Yeah, it was pretty good actually. Nice win by Kevin. Hopefully 7 points is enough for him. I mean, he's notorious for the stat correction losing.
Yeah, 7 points should be enough.
Yeah, it helped him out. I think with Giovanni Bernard being hurt, he had Jeremy Hill on his bench. He was able to plug him in. I think that really helped him.
Oh yeah,
that was 33 points. I think without Jeremy Hill, it pretty much Saug would have won. Period. I mean, I don't think he had anything else. He had Forte on bye, and he had nobody else to plug in for that running back position. So that was pretty much it. I mean, he had nobody to flex at that point. Everybody had on his bench was on bye or Gordon suspended. So he kind of lucked out. Bernard was hurt, and he was able to plug in Jeremy Hill.
Yeah, and a no-name, I don't want to say no-name Jeremy Hill, but, he played against the no-defense Jacksonville, and then, of course, so that definitely helped out.
And he gets no defense Cleveland again, too, if Bernard's out again. So he's going to put up decent numbers again this week, I would think. So, Jeremy Hill, for 2 weeks in a row may have good numbers, as a full workload. Of course, when Bernard gets back, he's not going to get that workload, but as long as he's the guy, they're going to work him because he's the only guy that's capable of doing it. So. Yeah.
And then with Romo out, Terrence Williams, he's probably not putting up those numbers as much anymore. He only got 2.9 points this week. Definitely lower than used to.
Well, yeah, Whedon's not. It's Whedon. I don't even know what to say.
I think I think this is the downfall of where Dallas goes to be an 8-8 team.
Yeah, I mean, but they look like it now. I mean, as much as people have talked about them, it just seems like they may not hold up now.
Yeah. And whoa, look at LeSean McCoy actually making his projected points all of a sudden. What's up with that?
I know, and it may hold up. Foles is out now. Sanchez is in there, and they may do a little more running, a little more. Sanchez may do a little more dumping off to him, and you may see a lot more of LeSean McCoy than anything else. I think now going down the stretch.
I mean, all their owners must be happy about that because, number one pick, LeSean McCoy is mostly the number one pick this season. I mean, 15.3 points isn't bad, but you would think, a number one pick would go a little more than that, But,
overall, it was a good matchup. It was a good back-and-forth matchup, and Kevin pulled it out. And just real quick, I saw Saug picked up Adrian Peterson. You think he's going to play again this year?
I did see that pickup. I thought it was pretty smart of him. I think he did that pickup even before the news broke out.
Yeah, when the news broke out with the plea, that he's going to plead guilty or whatever.
No. I saw that pickup yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry, not yesterday, but I think before this weekend, right? Because you couldn't pick up players yesterday.
Yeah, he did it on Saturday or Sunday, I think, when they were talking about it. Plea.
Oh, yeah, yep. Honestly, I don't think he'll play this year. What do you think?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I think I kind of had this argument with one of my buddies before, and he was saying that he won't play because it's a whole PR thing with the public relations. And
it is public
throw him in there with the...
It is public relations. Yeah. You're definitely right, or his friend's actually right. But I was just reading that the collective bargaining agreement, there isn't anything there to hold back Peterson from not playing. You know what I mean?
I know. That's the thing is, like, I think he's going to play. I mean, I guess it's up to Minnesota to see if he's going to play, but I don't think, as far as being suspended, even like they were saying too, they were saying he may get not maybe the game that he's been out for the 8 games, maybe they think that's his suspension enough, so he may get reinstated pretty quickly. And then I think if he's there, I think, honestly, if Minnesota's in the running, I don't see why you wouldn't play him, just because. I mean, I understand public relations and everything like that, but I'm like, dude, honestly, he's pled guilty, whatever. He's done his time. He's doing community service, all this other stuff. People forgive and forget. I mean, it's sports. You know what I mean? And I think if he's your best bet to win, look, I mean, you have to play him. And I think he may be their best bet to win. So I don't see why they wouldn't play him. Just because of that. I mean, Peterson's, still at his age. Peterson's still, 10 times the player as McKinnon or Asiata, who's playing right now. So I would play Peterson based on that because, like I said, it's sports. People don't really remember all the other stuff. If he's for the rest of the season doing well, I don't think they remember that he was a child abuser or something.
Yeah, no. If you're good at sports, the fans are fickle like that. You know what I mean? They'll forgive you.
Oh yeah.
They'll definitely forgive you. But no, good win for Kevin. Let's go to the next matchup, Danny versus Terry here, and this was a semi-close match, 91 to 103. Terry pulled it off again. He's on a 4-game winning streak.
Yeah, he's carrying it up. I mean, that's his That's like his second 4-game winning streak in the year, because he had 4-game winning streak, lost one, and then had another 4-game winning streak. So he's doing well. Like we said, one more win, I think he probably clinches the playoffs, and he could probably sit back, relax, and try to get that bye. Probably, I guess. I mean, he's not really clear. Well, you know what? He won't get a bye. I guess nobody gets a bye because it's 8 teams in the playoffs.
Correct.
So
Correct. Nobody gets a bye.
He just needs, he just needs to lock it down, and then he can sit back and just kind of watch everybody else duke it out, I guess.
Yep. Now, if I was Terry, the only thing I'm concerned about, and again, this happened to Jim a few years ago, Terry. Remember when Jim was on his winning streak, but he was putting up low numbers, but it's just the matchup was his favor. You know what I mean? It was a favorable matchup for him, but I mean, he was like second or third place overall, but his point total was like 10th. You know what I mean? So if I was Terry, I would be worried about the first round matchup because almost anybody who goes into the playoff, they would have a higher point total than Terry, and
pretty much.
Yeah, that's just me personally. I would be concerned about if I was Terry, first round matchup, because you won't get this lucky in the playoffs,
I agree. I mean, and if you look at his roster's not that bad.
No, it's not.
I guess
it's not.
He's got the top receiver in Antonio Brown and Jamal Charles, and then he's got Julius Thomas, as the tight end, and
true.
Like I said,
those
lineup's pretty strong, and the only thing that isn't really is his quarterback is Kaepernick.
Quarterback, yep.
Yep. Yeah, and if Danny would have plugged in Mike Evans on his bench, he would have actually won. I guess Mike Evans blew it up on his bench.
Oh wow! In 29, yep.
Yeah, he put a lot of points up on his bench.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Terry won again. So, good job, Terry. Let's go to Jim versus Ving here. And man, are you surprised the best team in all of fantasy football lost again this week?
I'm shocked. It's slim margin too. I mean, it was
by 5. Yeah, just by less than 5.
It's Jim basically did it with Roethlisberger again. I mean, that guy's tearing up.
6 touchdowns, 2 games in a row like that. I mean, Eli Manning didn't put up bad numbers, but come on, that was garbage time. I think two touchdowns were garbage time, right?
Yeah, it was. It totally was. They were trailing, so all they were doing was throwing the ball. So, not to knock off on Ving's team or anything, but it was kind of garbage time, and the best team in football was taken down again. So it was like 2 weeks in a row now.
That's shocking to me, man. That's shocking to me. How do you feel about Ving's rest of the season?
I don't know. I think he'll turn around and still win the whole thing with with Wang. You know, I think they both were jump all the way up there and finish it out. You know,
I think so too, man. I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at their points for and points against, I think they have two of the best defenses in the league. So you know. Yeah,
you have the low. You have points against. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're not getting outscored, so I mean you got to understand that they apply the two best defenses. So I don't, defenses, the defense wins Super Bowls, right? So
yeah.
I don't see how they don't win out and clinch a playoff spot within the next couple of weeks, and make their way to the championship to play each other.
Yeah. Jim's riding that Roethlisberger high right now. Beckham Jr. I don't know if that was garbage time or not with Beckham Jr. I forget who Eli threw it to during garbage time. But Jim looks like he has a tough team. Roethlisberger blowing up. DeMarco Murray, is doing well this year. Jim has a tough team, but 9 out of 10 times I will put my money on Ving. Against Jim.
Oh yeah,
against Jim.
9.5. 9.5 out of 10 times. Put it on.
Dude, Ving has the best team in fantasy football history. But Ving.
Draft.
Yeah, but
auto draft. I mean,
them are the breaks, Ving. Sorry, dude. Next week, you get them, Ving. Don't worry about it, man.
Yeah, he will. As long as he's not playing me or you,
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's go to your matchup, and you put up low numbers, but you went up against Chris. You put up low numbers, but Chris put up even lower numbers, and you did it without a tight end spot too. Explain your thinking.
I was waiting to see how it was going to play out, and I knew Sunday night and Monday night had a lot of tight ends left because there was like Heath Miller, Kobe Fleener, there was a lot of tight ends left, and so I was just going to wait it out and see what was going to happen. And since I already won by Sunday afternoon, I didn't worry about picking up a tight end. So that's pretty much how I played it out. If I needed the points, I would have went and got a tight end. But you know what? He had a tight end, and his tight end scored 0. So it was pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, it was a wash. Tight ends for both teams was a wash.
Yeah, and, for me it was easier because I didn't have one. So, I didn't have to worry about it. So it looked worse than him because he had a tight end plugged in.
Well, hey, Foles, he might be out for a while. So if you need RG3, let me know. Look, trade deadline is this Friday, people. So make sure you get your trades in if you'd like to do it. So remember, Tay, this is expert advice for you too. So if you need RG3, let me know. I'll be willing to part with.
I'll think about it. I don't know. I kind of think about it. Honestly, I may just be able to kind of shop the waiver wire at this point and see what I want to do.
Yep.
I think Sanchez did well in his replacement. I mean, I'm thinking twice about picking him up. So I don't know. I'll kind of see what happens. Like I said, at the beginning of the season, I wasn't a big fan of RG3, so I don't know. I'll have to kind of wait and see. See what kind of happens. I'm more worried about hopefully Foster comes out of his bye healthy. I mean, he's been kind of carrying my team, so I'm hoping he was so frustrated when he hurt his groin that I'm hoping he doesn't sit out more than a couple weeks.
Well, it says that he is unlikely to miss time following the bye week, so it looks like
that's what I hope. But you know how Foster is. Sometimes they say that and then he's out, for a while. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But I have a lot of running backs on my bench still. They all. I have Lacey that was on bye. Morris blew up. I have Robinson who I can plug in. So it's not bad. My team's not bad. So I just need a quarterback now since Foles kind of went.
Hey, RG3, let me know, man. Let me know. But sorry, Chris. It looks like you might be out of the playoffs already. So hopefully you can win a few more games just for moral victories. But okay, let's go to the other guy who looks like his jinx has been lifted, Sin, who blew up with 140 points versus Scott.
So bad for Scotty. I mean,
he put up
good. He did too bad.
I think Scott would have beat like 10 other teams this weekend.
He would have beat the rest of the team most, and it didn't hold up. I mean, he had Luck, he had Sanders. They both did well, and then of course somehow Sin ended up all his players played. I mean, all his players scored a lot of points this week.
Yep.
I mean, Edelman, even out of nowhere. Edelman hadn't been doing anything for weeks.
Yeah.
And the guy had like 2 touchdowns. So, you know, he's with that, his playoffs hopes are still alive. I mean, luckily,
it is. Yeah.
he's still hanging on there.
Yep. Even since bench, you know, Decker and Bolden did well. He could have plugged. Well, I don't think he could have plugged them in anywhere. That would have did anything. Yeah, Sin, congratulations. He was on a 5-game losing streak, right? Because he won 4 straight. I'm sorry, he won 3 straight, and then lost 5, and then won this one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that puts him at 4-5. So, wow, man, taste of victory, Sin. You know. After losing 5 straight like that. So
I know, it's been a while. I mean, he must have gotten drunk or something that night. I mean, I could understand. He was so happy. He must have just just shit.
Congrats, Sin. Congrats. Hopefully, maybe your jinx got lifted. Let's go to the other best team in the Fantasy Football League, Wang. Now, are you surprised that the other best team in all fantasy lost?
I'm shocked, actually. I'm shocked that he lost so bad. I mean, he lost by 20 points, and to only put up 87. I mean, I would have beat him. You know, that's why I'm like shocked. Like I would have thought he would have scored a ton of more points than that, and blew me out of the water. But I didn't have a tight end, and I scored 2 more points than him. So it probably didn't help that Philip Rivers had 0.82 points.
No, and say that's what's shocking to you, right? That you would have beat the best fantasy football team in the world, right? I mean, that's shocking
definitely.
to you.
I totally was in shock, and I totally pissed my pants thinking that I would have beat him this week again. So amazingly, I mean, like I said, Philip Rivers 0.82. I mean, that's amazing.
That was you didn't expect that. Philip Rivers is streaky, but you didn't think he would suck like that,
Not that bad, and Russell Wilson really didn't do that well for Don either. I mean, but Philip Rivers did horrible. I mean, that's got to be one of the worst games I've ever seen him play. Like three picks, 1 fumble. I mean, the guy had like 4 turnovers and like no yardage and no touchdowns. I mean, the guy was horrible in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And in some leagues he was like really negative. I mean, like I saw in a couple of my leagues he was like -5, -6 points. I mean, I think our league was a little generous. I think so. Mm-hmm. I mean, at least he got 0.82. In his scoring.
Dang. How do you forecast Hong's rest of the season?
I think he's still gonna blow it up. He's got Demarius, he's got Andre Ellington. Him and Ving still have Mr. Auto Draft and Mr. Wangster here. Definitely. I mean,
championship, right?
Definitely. I mean,
that's the Super Bowl of Super Bowls.
Yeah, they're both 5 and 4. They probably have to kind of watch where they're going to get placed. Make sure they don't play each other in the same bracket area, so they can meet in the final. Because then it's otherwise the winner of that matchup, if it's early on, is going to win the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no suspense in that, right? Right. We want to see.
There is.
We want to see 2.
They meet up early, then the winner of that's going to win it all.
Yep. We want to see 2 Titans going against each other in the championship.
Early if we have to.
Yeah.
But we want to see the championship because that's where the money's at, and that's what people pay for, right?
Yeah. So everybody will be tracking that. You know what I mean? So that'd be good.
Even though they're in the playoffs anymore, they're like they're going to be sitting there watching at home the fantasy get the stat tracker.
Yeah. That's, the 2 best team in the world. So funny story. Hong called me about 2 hours ago. Telling me he lost. And he mentioned Philip Rivers, and I told him, Hong, look. You want my expert advice? Trade for RG3. Trade deadline is this Friday. You trade for RG3, and we'll go from there. I'm trying to help the guy out. But I did tell him, I was like, hey, dude, you still got the best team in the world, so don't worry about it. But if you need quarterback help, trade me, for RG3, because obviously I'm not going to use him because I have Peyton Manning, but, I'm just trying to help a guy out here, I'll be willing to part with Demaryius, give me Demaryius and I'll give you RG3, you know what I mean? But, I'm just trying to help him out because I see him down, Phillip Rivers, and I hate to see the best team, feeling down, you know what I mean?
And then, definitely if, just to let him know, too, if, once he does that, we can lift the jinx. Pretty much. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But like, dude, just do the trade and the jinx is off.
Yeah.
I mean, by far. Because then once that happens, we can just go, he doesn't have the best team in the league.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, he's got the best team in the league. I mean,
he's blowing people out. Yeah. I mean,
you can't the players he has. I mean, they're the best team he's got. So him and Ving. So
I still trust you, Hong. You and Ving will still make it to the championship, dude. You guys got it.
Yeah, keep sending those texts to Sam. Keep sending those texts.
Let's go to players available. Now, obviously, when I drop Alan Hearns, he blows up. You know what I mean? That's
but he's gonna do that. I mean, I don't. He's not consistent enough to actually sit there and maintain. So I mean, that was kind of a crapshoot. I don't even know at that point. I don't know if it was just a matter of the fact that they was just down by so much. That's all they were doing is throwing the ball. So it's kind of hard to say. Like I said, that's only like his second game where he scored over 20 points. Every other game's been it's been okay.
It's just been single digits.
Single digits. So I mean, that's what I said. It's kind of hard to say. It's gonna come and go, and but you're right. I mean, the minute you drop him, of course, it's gonna blow up. So our expert advice is the minute Sam drops somebody, go pick him up. He's gonna blow up.
Pick him up.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. So.
Matt Asiata, the touchdown vulture. Three touchdowns with 20-something yards, 26 yards, 3 touchdowns. Come on. Remember back when Jerome Bettis was playing? He would get 3 touchdowns with 6 yards total in a game.
I know. Didn't he have almost 13, 14 touchdowns that year or something like that? Some ridiculous number. Of touchdowns.
Yep, and only a few yards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He had I think his yards per carry was 1.5, something horrible. So he had more carries than yardage.
Okay, Tate. So your expert advice. What do you think about those 2 players there in the free agent then, Hearns and Asiata?
Like I said, Hearns is a crapshoot. I'm still not big on him. I think Allen Robinson's still the guy there in Jacksonville for the youth. I think he's their starter. Hearns is still the 3rd spot. So, I don't mind Asiata. I think Asiata's not bad. Just depends on what the Peterson what happens with the Peterson situation. See if he does get thrown back in the mix. Because if he does, it's not worth buying into Asiata at this point. But I think if he's kind of out, they don't pay him. Then I think Asiata. I mean, the guy. Especially since they're not giving McKinnon the ball at all. Once they get in within the 20 yards, it's all Asiata at that point. It's not even goal line. I think 20 yards in, they won't give the ball to McKinnon. So I think at that point, I mean, Asiata's your man. I mean, the guy can get 1-2 touchdowns a game, and at least that's, with 10 yards and 1 touchdown, that's 10 points. So that's a better average than, McKinnon getting 90 yards.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, McKinnon, who I have in another league, gets all the yardage, and then when it comes to goal line, he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I hate that because you would think you would reward your running back, that got you there, but then I think that's. I mean, not all the time. It's fine if they use him every once in a while, but you give the guy the touchdowns all the time. Honestly, people kind of play for touchdowns. I don't think they really play for 150 yards. Because 150 yards. At the end of the game, if you didn't score a touchdown and you lose still 35-0, what's the whole point, right? So I think a lot of it, it's still scoring touchdowns. So that's why I'm I don't know. I think
Nope.
I think if he puts you within the 5-yard line, I think they should give him one more carry to see if he can score. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. So I think we're both agreeable that those 2 top free agents right there is you can pick them up if you want to, but we're not high on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think. Do you have anybody else that you're pretty high on?
Well, the other tight end. I mean, I'm not high on that. The tight end from the Raiders, Michael Rivera. I just wanted to point out. I mean, two games now he went into double digits. So if you need a tight end, if you need a tight end, there's something you can look at. But the only reason why I want to bring him up is Michael Rivera. Sister is Naya Rivera, and do you know who Naya Rivera is, Tay?
No, I actually don't know who that is. Who is that?
Is the girl from Glee. She's the Hispanic cheerleader girl. I don't know if you watch Glee, but anyways, yeah, dude, I'm kind of hot for her in Glee.
Oh yeah. No, oh, is it really? That's his sister.
Yeah. She's been to a few of the games. If you ever watched the Raiders game, which I don't blame you if you don't, you can see her in the stands. You know, they're like pandas.
Glee, so I never. Okay.
But anyways, do you have anybody else you want to talk about in the free agent?
Pretty much, you know, the only, well, I guess one name, even though Boobie Dixon is the highest, I think, rated running back to pick up, I'm still not sold on him. I don't really know about him. But receiver-wise, I honestly still like Justin Hunter. I think they're going to start airing it out. Baltimore just got killed by Pittsburgh, you know, by what's his name? Martavis Bryant, who is 6'4" and, you know, lanky as well. So Hunter's like 6'4" as well. So I can see him red zone. I think Baltimore, you know, because they lost Jimmy Smith, who was one of their top cornerbacks. I think he may, you know, do well. So I think Justin Hunter for me is the top pickup this week against Baltimore's pass defense, you know, because it's kind of falling apart at this point. And my only other question is, I don't know why Yahoo does this, but have you ever noticed, like, you know, when you look at tight ends and you do projections, and you notice how Jared Cook is, like, really high every single week, but the guy doesn't score?
Yeah.
Very many. And I'm like, how is this guy projected so high? Like, every single week, I'm like, does Yahoo see something that I don't see? Because I swear, every time I do projections, and I'm like, oh, I need to pick up a tight end, Jared Cook is, like, top guy, but he only, like, gets, like, one catch for, like, 2 yards. And I'm like, it kind of, I don't know why they do that, but Yahoo kills me when they have Jared Cook as, like, your top waiver wire tight end. When there's some other ones that should be projected higher than him.
Does that projected number influences your choices more?
You know, it doesn't, but it gives you an idea at least what kind of defense they're playing against. But the thing is, he's not playing against, sometimes he's playing against really good defenses. That's why I'm like, you know, and this week he is playing Arizona, who doesn't cover the tight end very well, so I could see him kind of projected higher. But, I mean, this high, I don't know. Because a lot of times that's what I see it. I do the projections because, like I said, it shows them, it kind of gives you an idea who they're playing defense-wise. But, you know, I don't know. I just, no matter what, for Jared Cook, I think every season, every week that I've done it, he's been projected higher than everybody else almost.
Yeah.
That's in the waiver wire. So, and he doesn't score that many points. So I don't know what they're seeing in him. But I think it's just kind of funny that Yahoo keeps projecting him the highest tight end, which I'm not going to pick him up because I'm not sold on the guy.
Yeah.
I've already picked him up a couple times, and he's kind of burdened me. So.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much all I have. I don't really have any. You have a quarterback for me to pick up? Who do you think I can pick up on the waiver wire?
Well, if you really don't want RG3, let's see here. Who's the quarterback? Fitzpatrick's been putting up good numbers, dude. You know, it's just solid. I mean, look at his weeks here. These last at least 4 weeks here, he's been putting up really good numbers. You know, so it is somebody to look at. You know,
is he even out in the free agency?
Yeah,
I don't see Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I don't. You sure? I don't see him at all.
Yep, he is.
Are they on bye this week though? They're on bye this week. That's why.
Oh yes, he's on bye.
I can't pick him up.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
That's
yeah.
why I'm like, I don't see him at all. What are you talking about? I'm trying to do week 10 projections, and I'm like, I don't see him at all. So you're telling me to pick up a 5-week quarterback for nothing?
I see. Oh yeah.
Oh, trying to make me lose? Are you trying to make me lose or something?
Look at Mike Glennon's number. Mike Glennon's been putting up really good numbers these last.
Yeah, he's on the bench now. They benched him.
Oh really? Who's starting?
Yeah. They're putting McCown back in.
Oh my God! Because they paid the money for him, huh?
Yeah. I think that's because they paid the money for him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because Glennon really hasn't been the reason why Tampa Bay's been losing. Really, it's their defense. You know what I mean? So you can't really blame Glennon because he's put up decent numbers, but No, I think by far, I think it's because they pay him account the money, and so they have to see what they have him account. I think. I mean, I think that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah,
Glennon hasn't done that bad. He has put up decent numbers. I just think it's all about the money. So.
Yeah. And I was gonna suggest Bridgewater, but he's also on a bye. So look, man.
Yeah, he is. You suggested me to lose this week. Is that what you're trying to do?
Your only choice is RG3, man. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Man. Your only choice is RG3.
That's all I have to choose.
I'm just putting it up there.
Man, can I have Peyton Manning on your team?
I have Peyton Manning. You know what I mean? With this loss to New England, I am kind of hopeful that Peyton Manning's played throughout the whole season, so I can carry him through our playoffs. You know what I mean? If I make it, because there's some tough teams in this league. But I'm just saying, hopefully Peyton Manning plays throughout our playoffs.
Well, let me know if you want Arian Foster, because I'll give you Arian Foster for Peyton Manning.
For RG3? Man. You can't do that. Foster is a second-round pick, and Peyton Manning is a first-round. Come on, dude. Can't do that. People will veto it. Not me. People will veto it. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking for the...
Running backs are a dime a dozen. Nobody can veto that. I mean, it's hard to get
all right, cool. Well, thank you, Tay. It was a good week 9. You and I both won, so it's always a good week, when that happens. Now, people, remember, trade deadline is this Friday. We only had one trade all season, and I believe that was with Scott and Jeff. So you Asians do not like to trade. I don't know what's up with that. You know what I mean? Every week I always make an offer. Nobody wants to come up with that. You know what I mean? I don't know, Tay. I don't know, man.
Nobody has to counter offer you.
Nobody wants to counter offer and anything like that. But
Asian.
Yeah,
because you're Asian.
No, you Asians gotta haggle, gotta trade. Come on, man, make this league. So far it's only been Scott and Jeff, the 2 out of the 3 white people in this league. Come on now. But all right, cool. Well, good luck this week, everybody. For Tay, I'm Sam. Have a good week. Talk to you guys later.